Welcome to Healing Whole, the podcast. I'm your host, Callie. I'm a certified personal trainer and fitness instructor. I also happen to be extremely passionate about holistic living. With close to 10 years of experience, I've worked with clients from all walks of life. I also know a healthy and holistic lifestyle can be a little overwhelming. I'm here to break it down for you and take you on my journey to healing whole. Remember, the materials and content within this podcast are intended as general information only and are not to be considered a substitute for medical advice or treatment. Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Healing Whole podcast. Today we are at the Dr. Lilian Ronzio School of Holistic Health with Gina Ronzio.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Callie.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So, before we get into it, I just kind of wanted to make an announcement that I'm really excited about. The time this podcast comes out, I will officially be 2 months free of suicidal thoughts.
Yay!
Which is very exciting for me.
Congratulations.
Because,
so proud.
Thank you. It's been lots of ups and downs since I was a teenager, and this is the first time solidly that I've been, healthy. So I feel really good. And I wanted to say, I feel like a lot of that had to do with the intuitive class that I took here.
Aww.
Because I kind of got to get more in touch with myself. And I wanted to say thank you because you're a piece of my puzzle into healing whole.
Oh, that makes me feel so amazing.
Good.
And I'm very happy and I'm honored. I'm honored
you.
that you're one of my students and one of my wonderful friends.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you. It's hard work.
It is very hard work.
And when you're conscious and aware of what those feelings are, and that's a part of it, is understanding and identifying them before they take a hold of you.
Yes.
And so with everything that you've done in your path, and I commend you for it because many people don't take those steps to get the help. And that is the key to getting better.
It's telling people how you feel. That was my issue. I never told anybody how bad I was. I always was open about anxiety and depression, but I never told anybody how really bad it was, that I genuinely did not want to be alive a lot of days until I finally had no other choice because it could have got to the point where it could have been harmful for my daughter, and I just couldn't have that.
Yes.
So, thank you for always guiding me.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So, today we're going to talk about full moons, new beginnings, new beginnings, and kind of manifesting, because that's a big thing that you focus on.
Yes.
And I know we worked a lot on that in class. But I first want to ask you, and I know it's been your whole life, but how did you get into this more holistic way of living? Tell me about your background growing up and all that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I grew up in a household that was very open-minded. My parents loved anything that was unusual. My house was... I know some people believe this and don't, but when you live with it's you believe it. Our home was very active with spirits.
Yeah.
And so you don't have a choice but kind of be open to it and try to identify what's going on. But my father is very much into UFOs and Bigfoot, and my mother into natural healing.
Yes.
So I got this wonderful, well-rounded education just being brought up from their teaching. And we would spend many nights looking at the stars and finding UFOs and searching for Bigfoot in the woods, and my mother identifying the plants for me. So this is who I am. It's how I grew up, and it's very unusual for me not to be this way. So it started there, and it just grew and grew. The more I had questions, the more I wanted to understand. And my thing, even with opening the school, is not about knowing things, but understanding things.
I think that's a lot what you focus on more so. You don't need to know what's going to happen, but just understanding what's going on right now and how you actually feel and how others feel in the moment.
Yes. Yeah, and it is understanding just all of the energy within people, around people, and being aware of it. And that keeps you from judging a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you heard me say this quote in class, but one of my favorite people to quote is Abraham Lincoln, and he said one of his, and it truly changed my life, is when his quote was, "I do not like that fellow. I must get to know him better."
Very good.
And it really has helped me, and it's guided me, because I know if there's something immediately that I kind of repels me from somebody, I want to understand why that is, mm-hmm. rather than judge what it is, because there's always a reason, and sometimes it's what's mirroring within ourselves that we don't want to see.
Yes.
And sometimes there's a connection there that unconsciously we already know, but we know it might not be a good thing. We don't want to go through it, so we walk away from it. And that's what we do, just as walking humans, energy feeling, beings, is we are constantly in touch. And if we judge it, we don't go near it, And
I think it can be scary. I noticed that since I've gotten better and started to heal, that I am not that I was ever super judgmental, because I wasn't, but I am way less judgmental now of certain situations, and I can deal with them better because I'm not so scared of them myself.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and I always say, fear is pretty much the only sin there is, because it gauges our behavior and our thoughts. So if we eliminate fear, we come down to the understanding of things.
Yeah.
Or we experience things that we wouldn't have before if we allowed fear to be behind it.
Yeah. So you have pretty much always been into kind of
always
this way of life.
Always.
You grew up in it.
Yes. And my mother opened a store when I was in high school, a natural healing store, and I began working the counter, learned all about herbs, and went to school for that, and got my degree in many, many different things, from aromatherapy to reflexology, iridology, all of those things. But as far as the energy side, what they call the metaphysical side, that's always been there. And it was very difficult.
Did you have to find that on your own?
I did.
That wasn't like a family kind of pushed that out of you. It was more you finding it all by yourself.
I think it was more labeling it anything. Like I said, when it's called metaphysical, it's then taboo. We were Catholic. And even
it doesn't really marry.
Yeah, and so it was hard to balance that, because if I was to believe everything that I was told, then what I was feeling and picking up and doing was wrong. And as a child, I didn't know where to go to with that. I finally on my own figured out, because I didn't have a mentor, a teacher, or books, or anything to explain any of these things to me. I found out that my intentions, my thoughts, my emotions behind it is what would be looked at and seen by God, the angels, whoever that almighty being is. That's what he would see.
Yes.
So, and I decided that I would go headlong into it, and other people's understanding of it would be as they got to know me. And again, going back to my base philosophy is what I thought myself as a child, with those few quotes and that philosophy myself. And I had hope in the human race that they would see me that way.
Just see you for who you are and accept you for who you are. I think that's what everybody wants, really.
And try to just understand me and feel my intentions. And when they knew that, they would know who I was.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing the metaphysical aspect of it, like focusing more on the metaphysical aspect?
About 38 years.
And she's only 29, so that's amazing.
It's crazy, huh?
What else was I going to say? And then you opened the school when?
It'll be 6 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And now you're teaching metaphysical, but also the other aspects too, herbs and iridology and all that, but a lot of the metaphysical to students now.
Absolutely. Because I think total healing comes with mind, body, mind, and spirit.
Yes.
And it is a balance, and keeping that balance going. And without balance, there's not healing. So if you just are eating well and taking herbs, but you don't get that mind right, or that spirit right, if you're not in touch
with your soul, exactly,
you never become truly healthy. So you have to have that balance, and that's what I try to do here.
I actually talked about that in the past on one of the episodes, that my body was good. I mean, again, I'm not like top physical shape or anything, but I feel good about myself. I like how I am. I like the shape I'm in. There was just a red bird that just flew by.
Little sign.
Yeah, right? And I ate well, and I took herbs and took vitamins and minerals and all that, but my mind was not right, so my body couldn't be right. My mind and my soul were not connected to my body, and until I got that, there was never going to be like joy. There could be happiness, but there was never going to be joy, which said, that good feeling in every single day.
That's exactly right.
So I had to wait, and it took me a long time, especially till now, but really I was scared of getting in touch with it, because like that's when you really have to face demons. It's easy to work, not easy, but it's a lot easier to work on your body than it is your mind, because then you're like, oh man, there is maybe something that's not right about myself.
Yes.
That I need to work on.
Yeah, and it's holding up that mirror and seeing
fear.
Everything.
Yes.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard to, once you do it, it's like, oh my gosh, I should have done this years ago, but it is that fear of looking a little deeper.
So we talked about your background. We talked about what kind of classes are here. So let's get into like the new moon.
Yes.
What does the new moon mean to you?
New moons mean new beginnings.
Okay. Because there's a moon cycle. We go new moon. What are the other moon cycles?
There's the new moon. Well, there's the full moon.
Yeah.
And then you get into the waning.
Okay.
And the waning lasts until the new moon, and then you get into the waxing. And many religions, including Catholicism, you'll see I don't know if they still do, but their calendars will show the moon phases, because it was always based on that, looking at the skies and watching it and understanding the influence of energy connected to it. The earth is guided by it. So
there's a lot of energy coming from it.
Tides go in, the tides go out, and it does the same thing with our emotions and our energy and what goes on with us. The lunar cycle is 29 and a half days. So every 29 and a half days, you go through an entire lunar cycle. With the new moon is about new beginnings. Full moon is about completion or release.
Releasing.
So you begin on the new moon and complete it at the full moon, and then you do the releasing of all the leftover stuff.
So that's really nice and can be really hopeful for people that every single month they basically have a chance to start over. You really can start over any day, but this is a really great chance to just begin again.
Absolutely.
And give yourself whatever you need to get to that point.
Yes. And March is great because in March we have the beginning of the new lunar calendar.
Okay.
Which is the spring equinox.
Oh,
and that is
very nice.
March 21st. And that equinox only means equal amounts of hours per day as in night. So everything is in balance. And like we talked about earlier with our health, that is when there can be complete and total healing. So when there's a balance within the universe. So the spring equinox is one of those times, in the fall equinox.
So this is really a perfect time if you're like trying to look into a healing path. This is the perfect time for you to start.
Perfect time.
Meanwhile, the sun's going to be coming out more too, so that's also great.
Yes, it helps.
Yeah.
I know people like me are very affected by those dark days.
Me too.
Yeah, the sun is just like, hello,
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, all of those things. But March, comes in like a lion, out like a lamb, that old saying.
Yeah.
And it's not just the weather. There's also the energy. March is an amazing new month, but it also is governed by a very powerful number of 3. 3 is the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Everything with power has the 3 points, but the only way that happens is if they're in harmony and balance. And again, that's the focus for this time of year. So with this new moon coming up, that's what you want to focus on, is manifesting and
harmony
focusing
and balance in
on
your life.
harmony and balance. So it's not just with what you want to bring into your life, but also beginning anything new, relationships, businesses, anything you start. Make sure whatever that is, the intention is to have harmony and balance with the person or event or the things that you want to do. Make sure that is the focus of it, or things will be, those triangles. If one side's little, guess what's going to, it's not going to sit in harmony and balance.
Okay. So what are some new moon rituals that you can suggest to people? Like, what would you do on a new moon?
Oh, well, first thing I would do is have in mind all the new things that I want to bring into my life.
Okay.
All the new things that I want to start. It's a great time right now. Let's say it's a new moon, and say, you know what, this month I want to begin focusing more on eliminating this from my diet, from my inner circle, from my mind, say negative thoughts. I don't want to think about how I'm late all the time.
I want to think about how I'm on time.
Yes. And you have to remember that the universe and God is like this amazing genie. So whatever you wish for, they bring to you. So to be conscious and aware of how you phrase things and what you put out there. So at the new moon, you want to say very positive affirmations about yourself. I always arrive at the perfect time.
I always like, my favorite affirmation right now is I am healed.
Yes.
So I am healed, I am healthy. Those are things I write down. I write them every day now.
Yeah.
I write positive affirmations down every day. But for the new moon, the last one, I believe it was the last one, maybe it was January's. But I did this huge vision board for like the year, because it was January, so I did this huge vision board for the year. And I feel like when I did that, after January, I really started to get better. But I also really started to implement these practices of positive affirmations, of manifesting what I want, and reminding myself every day. But I made this big vision board for the year, and then now for every new moon, I'll do a vision board in my notebook of what I want this month to look like.
Perfect.
So every single month, I'm writing it down, and I'm writing positive affirmations down and everything like that, and what I want to see. So that's what I do for my new moons now. And I will occasionally I'll write them down too on a different piece of paper and light a flame and then burn them also, so they can go up into the air and be like,
yes.
Take this, universe, take my dreams.
Yes, and that's exactly how it works. And when you see it visually, it does create a very different energy. One of the things that I started doing many, many, many years ago is writing myself a prosperity check.
Okay.
And you get a blank check, pull it out of your checkbook, and so on the date you put now.
Okay, that's good. See, on mine I put a certain date, and I think I should have put now.
Just put now. Just do a new one. It's okay. There's no limit. You can do whatever. And the amount, you can write anything that you want in there. And remember, prosperity isn't just about financial, but this puts your mind in a certain place energetically when you can visually see this. So the date you put now, then you write your amount. $500,000. We'll put $500,000, and then sign it. Love God, love the universe as the signature, and in the little note put thank you.
Very nice. I like that.
And it's a prosperity check. You can put it in your wallet.
So that would be great for a new moon ritual.
That is a part of a new moon.
For you to do.
Yes.
So we're talking about what to do on new moons, and basically it's connecting to manifesting. So
Always.
I'd like to get into manifesting. What are your thoughts on manifestation?
I think we do it every single day. Every single day, as far as manifesting.
Good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Good or bad, absolutely. And that's what I say when you're conscious of your thoughts, and you're conscious of your intentions and the emotions that you bring, the energy you bring into that space manifests what's going to happen in that space, and go anywhere, and you know that. So you manifest. Today's going to be an amazing day. And that's it. I'm going to make miracles happen today. And you open your eyes with those thoughts, and you truly do manifest that type of day. And it is that with anything in life. Anything remember, it's almost like you put your order in.
Yes.
And when you truly see it that way, and you believe that, it happens. And it is all about faith. And it is all about believing in your own strength and your communication with the energy around you, and understanding energy is what molecules are made of, and molecules create things of matter. And if you go deeper into those molecules, you'll find, if we studied water in class,
yes,
and you see what thoughts create on a molecular level, on a cellular level. It happens within our body. It happens outside of our aura and our energy field, which goes on and on. It's the never-ending thought, and that's what prayers are. But
absolutely.
That is what manifesting is. I do it every single day. We all can do it. It's not like a special gift. You know what I mean?
I feel like when I write down in my book every single day, I write down, today will be beautiful, today will be abundant, today will be whatever.
Yes.
But I write that down every day to set the tone for my day and to manifest my day.
And you look for those things then. If we go looking for something negative, we will find it.
Yes.
Because we will manifest it somewhere in any little thing we're looking at.
It's like when you're having a bad day. It's not just one bad thing happens. A bunch of bad things happen in a row on a bad day.
Yeah.
Probably because either that one bad thing happened and that's all you thought about, and it made other bad things happen, or you just started your mindset and this isn't going to be an amazing day. It's not going to be an amazing day, instead of thinking this is an amazing day.
Yes. And many years ago, and this is just a little sample. I know I go off on my little stories, but
I like it.
my daughter came to me and she was like, tomorrow's Friday the 13th. Everybody was telling me in school, I don't want to go to school. It's going to be a bad day. And I remember she was little because I remember getting down on my knees and going eyeball to eyeball. And I said, listen, I'll tell you a secret. Nobody really knows this except me and now you. You're old enough to handle it, so I'm going to tell you. Friday the 13th, everybody's giving their luck away.
Because they're manifesting that it's going to be an unlucky day.
I said, so what I do is I grab everybody's luck and I pull it and put it in my pockets. So since everybody's thinking it's going to be a bad day for them, there's all this extra luck around. And I gather it up and it's all mine. So now you can do the same thing. So every Friday the 13th, do everything. Look for miracles.
So the day is really just what you make it.
And every single day is exactly what we make it. So that's a part of it. Vision boards are very, very important to do.
How important is it for you to write this down? How important is it for you to write down your dreams and what you want to see happen in your life?
Extremely important because it connects the physical. Now it's not just a thought. Now it's not just a dream somewhere in your mind. Now it's a reality. Once it's on paper, whether it's in a picture form or a word form, now it becomes something of matter. So it's that connection between our body and mind and
it's understanding. Our mind is understanding.
Yes.
Our body's understanding. It's all linking together.
Yes.
Like, this is what I want and I'm going to get it. I have it.
Yes, having that picture in your mind, and that it doesn't end there, because it's once you have that picture down, whether it's in a word form or a true picture form, that feel it, see yourself there. See if it's a new house, let's say.
Visualize yourself in your house.
Being like going through the door and what it smells like and what it feels like and the colors on the walls and what all is there. That has to be a part of it to create that miracle, to create that manifestation. So it doesn't stop with just cutting out a picture or putting a word down.
You have to really believe in it.
You really do. You have to invest that energy. Again, when you create that harmony and balance between you and that manifestation, that true connection on all levels, that's when it happens.
So you have a story, a good one.
I do.
About this building that we're sitting in.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me about it?
Yes.
How you guys manifested it?
I will. Well, my mother more than me, but she's my greatest teacher with manifestation. The woman, I call her the queen of manifestation. Always have. Because I'm like, how did you even do that? That couldn't even be possible, and you did it. And it honestly, growing up made me mad, because what teenage girl wants their mother to be right? You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. I'm 28 years old and I still don't want my mom to be right.
So, I would almost get aggravated that she had this ability, not understanding that we all do. But when I was young, she would drive past this particular place all the time. There's my house. I'm going to live there. That's my house. And she would own it. She would truly own it. Oh, I would do this, and I'd put candles on all those windows, and I'd take that bush out, and the driveway would be lit, and Christmas it would be beautiful. I mean, she was seeing, not just saying it.
She was actually seeing what she wanted to happen.
Yes, and what she will do when it becomes hers. And we pulled up. I remember pulling up along this fence and getting out, and we were in a little Volkswagen Bug, and it was broken down and rusted, and the inside door was missing, and it was a mess. But she got out of the car and leaned over the fence, and she said, "See that? That's my house, Gina." And I remember thinking, I don't know how will that ever happen?
Yeah. Like, that's too much.
Impossible.
That's too much. How are you going to make that happen?
And I grew up with when she talked about, I'm driving past my house. I'll be to the store in 10 minutes. I knew where she meant.
Yeah.
Not how she lived in, but the house that energetically she possessed. It was hers. And I'll make this fairly short, but she bought my father a farm in Greene County. And that was his dream, to be away on 50 acres of just squirrels
Quiet.
And deer and birds and his own little paradise, and that's what he called it. That was his dream. That was his paradise. When he passed away, it has been 10 years. The first year he passed away, the coal mine approached her and said they wanted to buy the property. Mm-hmm. She said, "I'm not hungry." No. Second year, a little higher, they offered her. Third year, a little higher. Fourth year, this was up for sale.
Oh, look at that.
And she came and looked in the windows because she was her. She was allowed to come here and look. I'm like, Mom, you can't do that. And of course,
she can.
Yes,
it's her house.
she said, yes, I can. And then that year, the 5th year, they offered her almost the exact same amount for this place as they did for the property. This place was for sale. And so, like magic. And she said to me, what should I do? I said, you made sure Dad had his piece of paradise, his dream. And in some way, he's giving it to you. So, accept it.
Yes.
And that is the other thing about it. When it comes to you, accept it.
I have a hard time with that because
Yes.
I almost feel like I'm not good enough.
Yes.
I will think something so hard and then I'll get it. And I'm like, oh, wait, but do I deserve this?
Yeah.
And I think that's just emotionally dealing with yourself and understanding that you are worth it, which I think a lot of people struggle with.
Absolutely. I have had a battle with success my whole life. I would get 2 inches from it. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go over here in the corner. Somebody else take this.
Yes.
And I allow and give it to other people because I was not comfortable in that place of having a spotlight on me.
It's almost like you feel guilty that you got to the point, you finally got what you've been waiting for. You feel guilty for it.
Yes.
Because maybe someone else doesn't have it.
Yes.
Or you don't feel worthy of it. But I think a lot of it for me was that, well, I didn't want all the attention on me. Like I would get to a certain point and I'd get scared, so then I'd run away.
Mm-hmm. Because and you have to remember this, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And many times on some level, we don't mind working to get it, but having it comes with the responsibility of keeping it and honoring it. And that's with anything we get in life. And many times that's where we're afraid we will fail.
Actually having the dream.
Yes, and continuing
mm-hmm.
it and keeping it and honoring it and working to keep it alive. We do a lot of work to get it, and then it's like, okay, I got it, I'm done. And that's not how it happens. And even with manifesting, you have to the God and the universe is like this waitress, and you write down, you say, this is what I want to order. Let's say, okay, hey, I want ketchup. They come down, they put the ketchup down on the table, but it's over there. And we go, oh, it's there. But then you don't want to get up and get it. It's right in front of you,
mm-hmm.
but getting up to move to reach it and bring it to you is that last step that many people just won't do. And you have to. And again, when we talk about fear and what we think and our thoughts and our intentions, that all comes into it. You have to be willing to do the work also.
And then knowing you're worth all that work.
Yes.
It's huge. So I say I'm just starting out and I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I want to manifest something. I want to manifest my destiny. What was a tip that you would give someone to start? Because it can be overwhelming.
It can be very overwhelming.
So how would you have someone start on manifesting?
I'm big with journals. Mm-hmm. I make sure no one has an excuse. With my classes, they all get a journal when they start. And I'm really big at writing things down so you can see them. The first thing I would do is I would write down on the first page where you see yourself in 5 years, what you want to see in your life. And I'm not talking, everybody wants happy. Well, no, describe that. What
does happiness mean to you?
Right. Describe the things. The universe doesn't know what happy is. Name it. And so those things that you want to bring into your life, 5 things in 5 years. Big things. Okay? And then the next 6 months. What are these things you would like to see happen or you bring to your life the next 6 months? And then on the next page, do this month. 3 things. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do 3.
Just a little bit at a time, yeah.
And just say, you know what? This month, I'm going to make my bed every morning. It doesn't have to be outrageous.
Yep. It doesn't have to be an extravagant thing.
But when you start checking those things off your list, you get more and more like, wow,
you feel good about
this.
It. Yes.
And it starts with that. If you can't get up and make your bed, what else do you expect of yourself the rest of the day? And it is about that, the beginnings of feeling proud
mm-hmm.
of yourself. Like, okay, I didn't do my dishes, but hey, my bed's made.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's it.
I did and it really is starting out every single day with feeling positive. The other thing is I'm big on sticky notes. And when I was going through a very difficult time in my life, where I was getting divorced. It was 20 years, and I had a child, but I also had a home with a mortgage and all of those things. So therefore,
Scary.
Because I didn't get any help as far as outside help like that.
Yeah.
So I was big on sticky notes, and I had to train myself not to go to that dark place. And I hung sticky notes with affirmations everywhere. You are powerful. That was on my mirror when I got dressed in the bathroom.
Yeah.
As soon as I brushed my teeth, I was like, "You are powerful. Expect miracles." That was because I didn't have anybody to say those things to me. And you all have to remember this. You have to say to yourself, the expectation that you think, "Oh, well, they should say that to me."
You have to do it for yourself.
Right. You have to do that for you. And the second you really understand that it's not up to other people to make us happy or to make us feel good. That's not their job. That's our job. Sticky notes everywhere.
We're responsible for our own, you say that. We're responsible for our own feelings, thoughts, and actions.
Absolutely. Right? We are.
Yes.
And I think this...
And we're not responsible for anybody else's.
Exactly. How they react to us, that's on them.
Yes.
And many times, and I find this to be true, and we'll always have a fight with this because we're human beings. When I am in a space, whether it's with a person or people, and I find myself stuck in that space, like there's nowhere to go, and they're very negative.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like negative, 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 negative. It really does feel like you're like that punching bag. Even though you're...
It feels like you're suffocating.
Yes. And I respond. My response tends to come very quickly out of my mouth. You know what I mean? It's usually not... People are usually very surprised by it. But you have to find a way to remove that energy. Even if it's a 5-minute walk. Even if it's removing yourself. It affects us on so many different levels. And so then it's not about what they said to me and how they made me react. That was on me.
Mm-hmm. And it's on you to figure out how to fix it also.
Yes. And to apologize and say, listen, I'm sorry, bad day. I did not mean that. And if they want to continue holding that over your head, again, that's on them. That shows a lot about who they are as a person. And it's that expectations for each other as human beings. We have the ability to heal ourselves, make ourselves happy, change our own lives. And when we do that, we teach others that too. And it's not about being, loud or in your face. It's they watch us.
Our actions.
Yes.
Watch the actions that we do.
That first healing might take 1.5 years, 2 years, 5 years to get to that healing. But the next time we heal ourselves, it only takes a year. And the next time we heal ourselves takes a month. And sometimes it then 2 minutes. Okay, let me hold on. We can do that healing, that experience of the healing, and we gather it all up and do it quicker and quicker and quicker because we're always going to fall down.
Yes,
always.
Absolutely.
And to think that we're not is insane. We're going to fall.
Yeah.
My dad used to say, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. And we have to do that every single day. So it is about the positive affirmations.
So we learned a lot in class about protecting ourselves. So even with this, kind of goes with all this because it can be hard in a world with a lot of negativity to be positive.
Yes.
So we learned a lot about protecting ourselves, and I couldn't figure it out until all this stuff happened to me that I had to figure it out. Yeah. And I had to stop letting people in so much and letting it bother me so much because I would be physically ill. Like if I would get in a negative situation and someone hurt my feelings and they hurt very easily, I would be like actually physically ill for the entire day afterwards. So I realized, and it does take work, and it takes a lot of positive affirmations. It takes a lot of manifesting what you want. But I got to a point now that when someone says something I don't like, instead of reacting, I stop, think about it, think about how I want the situation to go. And it might bother me for a little bit, but then the more I think on it, like, okay, let me see this side, let me see that side. Maybe they're just having this kind of day. It's taking me now like 20 minutes as opposed to like 2 days before.
Right, exactly.
Someone said something to me, not that, just that I didn't like so much about, so with bipolar, it's hard to make up your mind because you have manic episodes and depressed. So you're always here or there. You don't really know what you're doing. And I was very lost for a long time. So I changed my mind a lot. And someone kind of had joked around about that. And it hurt me because I am fully open with the fact that I am dealing with something. I am surviving an illness. So for someone to say that when I'm so open about it hurt, and I kind of like retreated for a little bit, and that's what I had to do. I had to retreat to myself. I had to be like, this is okay. They just don't understand. It has nothing to do with you. But before, I would have never done that.
Right.
I would have been like, oh my God, they don't like me, da 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 da. And it has nothing to do with me at all. Absolutely nothing to do with me. So that's a big part of it too. You have to protect your own feelings and thoughts and your positivity, because nobody's going to do that for you.
Right. Not to take everything personally.
Yes, because 99% of the time it has nothing to do with you, if not 100% of the time.
My mother used to say, Gina, you think everybody talks about you and thinks about you?
And that's what we think, though.
Yeah. She said, you're not that great. You're not
exactly.
Or if something would happen, I'm like, I feel so bad because this person, this happened. She goes, you're not that powerful to control another person's thoughts or emotions. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
And you shouldn't let them be that powerful either.
Right. But when you're extremely sensitive and extreme empath, their feelings become a part of yours. So protecting yourself is really important. That mindset of, like you said, take a breath, that pause mode that I teach you. Take a deep breath, in and out. Allow your mind to go to, again, understanding of it, who it's coming from.
Maybe why they might be that way, or why it might be reacting this way.
And most of the time it comes from ignorance or not understanding, and can never understand what you've gone through. They don't understand the sensitivity to it.
But then they also don't have to, and you have to accept that. They don't have to understand what you went through. Nobody has to understand what I went through.
No.
I just have to accept the fact that some people aren't ever going to understand, and they might be negative about it, and that's okay. And they have their own choice to do that.
And it means nothing against you.
Yes.
And that, not taking things personally. There's a book called The 4 Agreements. Very, very important. I think that everybody should read it. And it's the 4 basic agreements that we have to be able to become healed within ourselves. And one of them is about not taking things personally. The other one is about, the law is about not having expectations of other people.
Because that's where a lot of our disappointment comes from.
And pain, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when we quit having those expectations based especially on a label. Oh, well, you're my sibling, so you should be this way. That's our expectations of them. So it's removing those labels and having no expectations, just seeing them as them. You as Callie, not as
what you want them to be.
Yes, or you think you need them to be for you. That's, again, taking it very personal, having expectations. And set up for pain. You're setting yourself up for failure and for a failed relationship on whatever you labeled that relationship.
Yes.
So beginning to get back to that list is so important. If you're just beginning and wanting to manifest, is writing it or doing a vision board with pictures.
That's what I was going to ask next. So you suggest vision boards?
100%.
Big vision boards, or just in your notebook vision board, or doesn't matter?
Any kind
of vision board.
Does not matter. The thing that matters most is make sure it's somewhere where you can look at it all the time.
Every day.
Multiple
times a day.
Yes. And I used to, for many years, kept mine on the inside of my bathroom door. Because I knew I was going to be in there with the door shut at some point during the day. So I knew every day I was going to be looking at that. It doesn't matter if it's giant. It doesn't matter if it's little or on a notebook paper or even on a sticky note. As long as you see it, and the second you see it, you connect with those things on it. And every day keeps it in the front part of your mind of, this is what I'm working for, and this is what's coming to me. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that I am open and ready, and I allow it.
Yes.
I allow it.
Believe
in my
it.
life. Yes.
What are some things that you would suggest for a vision board? Because I know in class we did a vision board, and there are some things that you made us write down also.
Yes.
So what would you suggest someone, maybe some tips that you would suggest if they're trying to plan on a vision board?
For a vision board, just like when I'm writing down a notebook, do big, think big.
No dream is too big.
No dream is too big. So if you want to, put on that Bentley or that,
in my car, I have from the Mother Earth News Fair, I have that little, because I had a media thing on there, and that makes me feel good that I was media at the Mother Earth News Fair, and I have $5 billion net worth.
See?
That might never happen, but I'm sure to try as hard as I can to believe that it will.
Yeah, but also remember that prosperity comes in many, many different ways. So it could be somebody taking you out to dinner and buying your dinner for you. That all adds up. It could be from so many different things. So be open. Don't expect like just a check.
Money, yeah.
Understand that it's coming to you and that worth will be there. So that is for vision board. Definitely dream big. Put those big things on there. So if it's a Mustang, I don't even know the names of them, but my fiance is always talking about
nice fancy cars.
Yeah. I'm more like, Volkswagen Bug, a pink one with white leather interior, and I will get that. But dream your dream, whatever. And I always think back to when I was little and where I saw myself doing things as a grown up. Mm-hmm. And I always make sure that's on there somewhere, and mine was always a little house in the country. So I always have a cabin in the woods, which I now do have, I don't go there enough, but it's there. I have it.
You have it though.
And so it's about putting those things down that evoke an emotion within you. That on some level is a dream. Excuse me. So that's very important. The words on there that you speak to yourself are very important.
I think making them present, that I am, so like I would like to lose weight, so I am 145 pounds.
Yeah.
Instead of, or just write down 145 pounds instead of I will lose this weight. I am that weight.
Yes.
So I am this, I am that, I have that. So you're in the present and you're making it real right now.
Absolutely. And I've had a lot of and done just groups over many years with doing vision boards, probably 15 years or so. And if whatever their goal is for that year, for that 6 months, like somebody says, I'm quitting smoking this year, they will write, I am a non-smoker.
Not I am quitting smoking.
No,
I am a non-smoker.
I am a non-smoker. So they look at themselves and start to develop that energy within them, like I'm a non-smoker. That's it.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, but just putting that energy, emotion, saying that self to yourself over and over and over again. Or I am sober. That's it. That's it. I am sober. And that's all. And look at it every single day. And it becomes about you. And I always was of the impression that, we become what people tell us we are. So if people have labeled you as this, or, you're things we say to our children. You're lazy, you're this, you're this, you're this. And they do become that. And it takes a million times over to say.
I call Annalise a turd all the time. I might have to change that.
Pretty little turd.
You're such a turd.
Well, you can define turd and with whatever.
She can be a pretty little turd. Yeah, maybe I'll start doing that. I'll add it into. You're the smartest little turd in the world.
Yes, exactly. And just so what those words are so important because we do become that.
Yes.
What do people say to us? So that's why it's so important again to rewire your brain what you say to yourself and how you speak to yourself.
Glass half full, not half empty.
Yes, and it's refillable.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. So drink up. We can refill at any time.
Yes.
Yes.
Very nice. So, do you have anything else on manifesting that you want to talk about? Or?
The prosperity check is great. If you want to manifest within the new moon, this is something. It's a little secret or something we don't talk about a lot. Clearing your front door. That door you go in and out of the most every month. The one you use the most. Clear that front door. So you clear out that energy. And what you're doing...
Tell me what you mean by when you say clearing, in case someone doesn't know.
When I do clearing and cleansing classes, we use sage. We do the Palo Santo. We do salts. We do some oils. There's many different things you can do to clear the energy. Some certain incenses you can do. But you just take... And nobody can see me, but I talk with my hands. But you can do that whole doorway and around the doorway with whatever it is that you're using to clear out the energy. And what you're doing is pretty much cleaning up the dirty, like sweeping the floor.
Like you're cleaning the door almost.
Yes.
That's what it is, the cleansing
yes.
smoke that comes from it that clears the air.
So it takes all of that gunk out and away, the dirt from the past month, or everything you've carried in and out. When we leave and we're in a hurry and we're coming home after that long day, you pass through and you leave bits and pieces. Like, did you ever see Pigpen?
Yes.
On Charlie Brown?
Yes.
That's what we do all the time with our energy, whether it's good or bad. We're leaving it everywhere, but going in and out of our homes, or your business, or whatever that is. All of that energy kind of gets stuck in its little portal. It's a very important new moon to clear that out. Okay. So you can bring all of those new things in. It doesn't have to fight to get through all the residual energy of the month. So every month, new moon, do
clear
that.
The front door.
Yes.
Whichever door you enter in the most.
Yes. And the opposite with the full moon. The one you use the least, you want to kind of open that up and clear that out to take all of that energy out that back door.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing, but full moon, take it out there because you're releasing things.
We'll have to talk about the full moon sometime too.
Yes, we will. But it's a really big thing.
Okay.
And there was one other things. There's lots of things. Candles, for instance. Lighting white candles to set your intentions.
Okay.
So as you...
Well, good. I have a giant white candle that I like, so I'm happy that's perfect.
Absolutely, because that purifies. Even in the clearing class, I talk about candles and lighting white candles, and it helps to purify the energy. Church, we go in, all these white candles.
True.
It is about prayer, and it's about manifesting and blessings and miracles and all of that hopes. And so white candles are great. So light some white candles. Write your prosperity check. Do in your journal, make your little vision board. Say your prayers, whatever they are. It doesn't matter, because it's all about being thankful for what you're getting, the blessings that you're getting, and just to have that mindset. And anything else you want to bring in. Many people bring in different crystals, things like citrine, which is my favorite, that it brings in an abundance of the thoughts that you have. So be careful of that too. You have to be very mindful of the thoughts you have. When you're doing these things, you're bringing in an abundance. You want to bring an abundance of good things.
Yes.
And also the cleansing bath.
I did that. Yeah, I think it was the last. Did I do that the last new moon or the last full moon? I can't remember. But I put sage.
Yes.
And salt in my bath. I was like,
yes.
I got to clear this stuff out.
And it's important. I mean, with the new moon, you do a cleansing bath before you do your little
ritual thing,
whatever you want to do. And then the full moon, you do it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's, again, it's just the difference, like before and after, bringing in and letting go. And it's all kind of the cycle of life, just you watch it go through the spring, everything comes anew. And then, then we do the planting, and then we do the growing, and then everything goes back down. And every month we do that with our energy, with the moon and the moon cycles. It's just in a short month. So
again, like I said at the beginning, it's just very nice. It can be freeing to know that we have a new chance every single month.
Yes.
To start over and start fresh. And the universe wants us to.
Yes.
It does this for us. Yes. It wants us to.
Yeah, that's the natural energy.
Yes.
And if we watch nature, and again, I had the blessing of growing up in the woods, doing hikes, and being
in touch.
Everything from 100-degree days to 29-degree days. I mean, freezing our butts off hiking to sweating and jumping in the river hiking. So I got to be a part of nature, and it's every stage, and it then wasn't crazy about it. Now I understand it was a part of what I learned, because nature teaches us how we're supposed to be and how it's supposed to work. We have to learn to watch and listen. But the new moon is great. It's an exciting time. And again, March is about threes, and threes about the Trinity, but it's also about communication. So we're going to have all of this. And Pisces is this month. Pisces goes in different directions. Those fish are like one swimming this way, one swimming this way. So we have to watch all of this. So it is about more balance. Okay. And being grounded and paying attention to all of it.
So taking that pause.
Taking that pause all the time. So we tend to get excited, and then we don't think. So it's about having all these wonderful creative ideas that are coming to us and beginning these new things. But also, and Mercury goes into retrograde on the 5th, the day before the new moon.
Okay.
He tends to unmask everything. So Mercury in retrograde, so he's kind of powerful, and he can kind of. He's the one. You remember the old movies with the lady screaming in it, and then somebody comes over and smacks her in the face. That's what Mercury retrograde does to us. So it makes us settle down when we're not grounded and say, think about it. Is this really what you want?
Shows you what's really
do you
important.
want it? Yeah. So if it's not, it'll keep it just out of our grasp.
Okay.
Or it'll make us see it from a different place to understand why that's not what we want to do. It really makes us rethink our intentions of why we want things. So if we want things because we think, if I could just have, I don't know, Brad Pitt, I'd be happy.
Right. And he's going to tell us if that's really important or not.
Right. And so, if we set our minds on things that we think is going to make us happy in a way of just, not feeds our spirit, not feeds our energy.
Doesn't benefit us.
You're right. And if it's just more about...
In a healthy way, I should say. It doesn't benefit us in a healthy way.
It'll erase that. It'll take it away.
It's a good time for new beginnings.
It's the best time for the new beginnings.
Well, good for me.
I know.
So tell me about some things that are going on at the school coming up.
Tons of upcoming events. We talked about the spring equinox. We're going to have a spring equinox celebration here, a meditation, and also a fire. So it's going to be a wonderful thing. And again, it's about the balance and creating that in our lives. We have a class coming up, Crystals, Do They Work? I actually had another title picked out for it, but I'll tell you later.
And Marianne's teaching that one.
Marianne's teaching that one because she is a walking, talking Google of crystals. Hey, Marianne, what does this do? What does this look like? What is that?
Do you want to hear a funny story? So I went to her house about a month ago, and she just, at the end of us talking, she was like, do you have rose quartz? And I said, yeah, I do. I actually have it on now, but this necklace used to look differently. It was kind of hung, whatever. I didn't like the way it was. And I kind of messed with it and fixed it the way I wanted it. But she said, do you have rose quartz? And I said, yeah, I have a necklace. I just don't like it. And she goes, I feel like you should be wearing rose quartz. And it is so weird that she said that because for probably 2 weeks prior to that, I kept thinking, I need to wear that necklace. I need to wear that rose quartz necklace. And she just knew. So she is like the crystal girl.
She is, the crystal speaker.
Yes, she knew exactly what was on my heart and what was on my mind, and I needed her to say it for me to go home and be like, I could fix this necklace so I like it, so I start wearing it more.
Yeah, and and there's a lot of people that know a lot about crystals, but like with anything energetically, when you connect with that one thing, you learn its language.
I'm all about food.
Yeah. See,
I love the energy of food. I love what food does to our body.
And you have a language with that, the energy connected to food, and we'll find that when we find that secret language we have between something ourselves and something of nature, that will guide us every single time. But that's what she has that with crystals.
Yes.
It's her own language. We have body analysis through muscle testing, and that's a certification course, and we're teaching about contact reflex analysis, how we can find out different allergies and clear those allergies, and weaknesses in the body, like organs or systems.
Yes, and what you might need to work on.
Yes.
So really quickly before you keep going, I just wanted to make this clear to people that you can come here for just classes to learn more about crystals or to learn about clearing, but you can also learn to get credits.
Yes.
To further your education.
Yes.
In holistic health.
Yes, we have continued education credits or continued...
continuing education credits.
Yeah, for massage therapists and body workers. So that's available. Some nursing doctors, chiropractors, massage therapists, depending on what their requirements are. Mm-hmm. All of these classes connected to the hands-on things, including Reiki. Those are continued education credits. And we do have Reiki 1 certification. That's March 23rd.
I'm fingers crossed that I can actually come to this one.
And then Reiki 2 is Friday, April 12th and Saturday, April 13th. We have an iridology certification.
And your mom teaches that?
Yes. And that is May 3rd and May 4th. we have a concealed carry course. And again, I'm well-rounded here.
I know, I love it.
And that is, that might be full. So he is, he does a lot of speaking in Congress about concealed carry and gun laws and protection. And so he's very well educated, and he will be doing a concealed carry course. And Ghost Talk with Terry. Terry does monthly little talks. One thing he is going to be doing with that is from the first couple classes, he's going to choosing individuals to be a part of his team. They're going to have
Very
a research team started from the school. So we will have the Ronzio School Paranormal team.
Nice.
Terry will be in charge of that. So from the first 3 classes that he does, he's going to be choosing a few people.
So you better come with your A game.
A game and your seriousness and understanding and, really wanting to be there. So that's Ghost Talk. It's April the 26th. And ronzioschool.com for all the details for all of our upcoming spring Spirit Quest.
Yeah, what's up? What is this?
I
was saying what's up with that, but I know what it is.
Spring Spirit Quest. I believe this will be our 3rd or 4th one.
Okay.
This is our full weekend one. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that is May 17th, 18th, and 19th. That's a 3-day retreat pretty much in the woods. We go to Laurelville, the Mennonite camp here. Okay. We have a little cabin. This is back away from everyone. And we arrive Friday night. You can stay the weekend, or you can just come for the day.
If you don't want to emerge completely, if you need to get back and take care of the kids or whatever, you have both options.
You can do that. Friday evening is pretty much just a meet, greet, and eat, I call it. And then we have like a little opening prayer and meditation and talk about the weekend. Saturday, we begin at 7 o'clock in the morning with self-massage and Tai Chi.
All right.
And we go right all day long. There will be all different workshops being offered, everything from Feng Shui to introduction to astrology. We have a healing tent that's going to be set up for Reiki exchange and crystal healing or different consultations, and that's all to be used. Or you can go find a tree and sit next to for the weekend and read a book. I want it to be whatever a person needs to heal
for themselves.
So there's going to be all of that offered.
But you can partake in as much or as little as you want.
Exactly. We have, if you stay the weekend, there's 4 catered meals that we have. So you get breakfast, lunch, dinner on Saturday, and Sunday morning breakfast. Saturday night is the full moon. So at Laurelville, they have this beautiful prayer labyrinth on the top of the hill.
Awesome.
And next to the prayer labyrinth is this amazing large fire pit and a lot of seating around it. And we go up and we do a little prayer labyrinth meditation. And then we go to the fire, and then we do our full moon release.
That's
there.
Awesome.
So if you want to come just for the day, that's a different price than if you spend the weekend, of course.
This is affordable. Can you tell me how much it is?
Yes.
Because I looked at the price and I was like, that is cheap.
I know. I think my mother said, Gina, I can't stay in a hotel and don't even get breakfast, let alone entertain.
I know. It's very cheap.
It's $265 for the weekend.
Extremely affordable.
Yeah. So that's
a whole weekend away. That could be almost a staycation. You're getting away, but you're so close to home for that.
And meals and workshops.
Yes, but you're getting in touch with yourself. That is a really good price.
Thank you. Yeah, and I tried. Prices went up this year, so I'm very hesitant. And
but things go up in price. You have to do the same. So.
And I always try to keep it at a place where I don't want to make money. I want to make sure people are there and not lose money. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's really amazing. You meet the most incredible people, but you have an option to come up for just the day, all day Saturday, starting at 7 a.m. and doing all of the workshops if you want, or just hanging out and taking part or connecting with. It's up to you. But that's $100 for the day.
I just waved my hand in the air because I was thinking, girl,
that
is so good.
It's amazing.
That's great,
and that includes the full moon at night too.
Awesome.
So it's the whole thing. I love that. We have a couple different out of town spirit quests coming up. We have a Lilydale trip coming up in August. Yes, August.
Okay.
August, yes. July. Oh, sorry. I think, anyway.
They can find you
July.
on
RonzioSchool.com.
that and on Facebook and
Yes.
on Instagram.
Yes. In Gettysburg.
Ronzio School.
Gettysburg in October.
Which will be very fun.
Yes. So a couple mini trips, but yeah,
You have a lot going
RonzioSchool.com.
on.
A lot, and I have so much in my head that I want to do. If I could find that cloning
That's how
machine,
I feel.
you know, and thank
I
God
need to do
for
this, this, and this.
for like Sarah and Joyce and Eva and Liz and all the people around me that helped me and volunteer, and because without them,
But you manifested all that.
I did. I did, and it is really awesome again to allow it to happen.
Yes. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Oh, anytime.
And thanks
I
for
love
having
it.
me here. I know, me too.
I'm so happy to see you, and I'm
Thank
so
you, me
happy
too.
that you're back and
Thank you.
better than ever.
Thank
and
you.
look out, world.
Yes, that's
Here
right.
comes Callie.
That's right.
Yes.
So we will see you next time on Healing Whole, the podcast. See you later.